In this episode, I do my final preparation for race day on the Rat Rod Radio Flyer. Hey guys, welcome to the show. Welcome back for faithful subscribers. If you're new here, my name's Gary Tommy. This is my channel, Straight Six Fan, where I like to focus on budget-minded, creative, relatable builds. A little something I like to call offbeat hot rodding. But today we are on the final leg of preparations for the showdown between my Rat Rod Radio Flyer go-kart and my older brother's wheelbarrow go-kart. Now, this is Thursday night, October 18th, I believe it is. And I'm going to be staying up late tonight, probably getting this all wrapped up, because Friday I'm heading down to Wichita. The race will take place on Saturday. Now, you're watching this on Sunday, and unfortunately in this episode there will be no racing. I plan on releasing a series of videos, could be up to 4 in a row, so starting Sunday night, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, that's 4, okay. But yep, I gotta get to work. If you watch my Tuesday live stream, you kind of know where I'm at. I did wrap up revising the gas pedal, so let's quit talking and show you what I got going on. Okay, so here is the final product. I flat disked it, and so it's nice and shiny. Clear coated it as well, but this is the new revised weld. Not the greatest. I kind of got sloppy there towards the end, but I also drilled in, there we go, a tiny little hole here for the revised throttle cable. If you recall from Tuesday night, I showed you I'm going to use this thing, and actually I want to keep this end as is because I think it's going to be easier to cut and shorten this end for up there. Oh, there we go, up there. But I'm going to create a little notch in here to match this U-shape. I think it's just going to be a little better at being a positive, just a positive, solid thing. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me just get to work. Okay, now that the throttle is done, I have cut out and ground down filler cap. Well, that's still hot because I just got done grinding it. For my little collar, if you will, for the idler sprocket, gonna go like that, and this will allow me to, I will then, after I get this on, I will drill through it so I can plug weld this shaft to the back side of this. Like so. But anyway, but first, like I said, I'm gonna weld it to that guy. Okay, in some areas, happy with the results. In some areas I got greedy, so probably my best bead here, but you can definitely see where porosity took place here. Probably just didn't have this cleaned well enough. It tends to be I tend to be a little rushed. This side I tried with some filler rod, but for what it is, I mean, it's going to be hidden fairly well anyway. Let me get the sprocket in now, and we will weld that in here. Okay, so I drilled and plug welded the backside of this little sprocket collar, so we're in good business. It doesn't really have much play in it, so we can now start to create a bracket for this on the go-kart. So one thing I did on the drive home tonight was stop by a farm and home store and picked up some new set screws, or whatever you call these. Whatever you call these guys. I did a check and I was missing a couple. One was actually on the rear sprocket, so we will set those first and then figure out where the best place is going to be to put the idler sprocket. So anyway, I've got the chain currently where I want it. It looks pretty parallel. And the way I try to do that is I eye down it like from the top, and I watch and I try to see if the chains are kind of doing that as they spin, or if they're, you know. So I like it pretty well. It looks pretty good. But so let me get those set screws in first, and then we will figure out this spot. So one other thing I picked up at the farm and home store tonight was I did find some half links, and I figure I will just throw these in my toolbox for race day, so in case I do throw a chain, I'll have my chain link tool with me as well, and then I'll just take a half link out. So this is essentially what I got. I'm gonna weld some more 1x tube to my to this guy. Over time, I suppose I could connect these two as well, but then I will weld the little collar that we just did to this sort of stick first. I got the sprockets pretty level. Should probably clean off the surfaces a little better, but yeah, I mean, more or less this is it. I gotta tweak some of this by hand, straighten this out and all that stuff, but yeah, this is essentially what we're gonna end up with. So I went ahead and took the time to cut the vertical brace, because since deflection was my biggest enemy last go around, I figured, hey, I'm here, might as well, even though I want to just be done. It's, I mean, probably shoot, I don't know, 10 o'clock on Thursday here. Let me see, 10:02, which means I probably should stop using the mini grinder. Yeah, I just figured let's do it right. So I already got this guy burned in. This is just friction fit for now. That way I can mark where the tensioner wants to be, and then I will the tensioner yank this out, weld the tensioner, put it back in, weld this on. So, all right. Okay, so I gotta be quick because my battery is about out. But as you can see, I did get the idler sprocket on. The only good news, bad news. The bad news was when I was welding, I must have burnt all the grease out of that thing, because it just was screaming like a dragon after I rolled it a few times. So I was able to diagnose that's what it was, screaming. So I've got a grease gun, and I tried best I could repacking that thing with grease. So I'm gonna take the grease gun with me on Saturday to the race. Probably have to keep addressing that. It'll be a temporary fix for now. that'll do it for this episode, guys. Remember, this is the first part in a multi-part series, but until next time. Hold on there, partner. Okay, so it is Sunday, day after race day, and guys, I just wanted to throw this into the Sunday video. It is Sunday right now, because I fear what's gonna happen is I built up the race so much, and now I'm going to have lame footage for you guys. So I wanted to take a moment just to kind of explain what happened yesterday. Now it was I call it one step short of a disaster. It was not a disaster. It was still fun. It was still worth all the effort. Still a good time to hang out with my older brother. But we had some breakage, and it was kind of obnoxious. All right, and most of it was me. Well, first off, the way I had the day going in my head was we would, get at it kind of first thing in the morning, But my brother's daughters had a soccer game, so we didn't get started till 2:30 in the afternoon. Well, 2:30 was as early as we were gonna start, and that wound up being 3. And not a big deal. That's just how life is, right? But I was trying to leave Wichita by 7, so that kind of closed in the window of time we could do that, right? Well, when my brother finally got there, I was starting to have issues with the motor. I don't know if there's a carburetor problem or what, but it just wants to cut out. After a while, after it's been running for a while, and you mash the gas, it just chokes itself off and dies. So, either a carburetor issue or maybe the coil's starting to go bad. But we finally got the thing running. We were ready to race. And then I lost a bolt on the front wheel. We started looking around the yard for a while, couldn't find it. So decided let's just go to the hardware store. Well, by the time we go to and from town, get to the hardware store and back, we ate up like another half hour. So we really didn't get going until 4 o'clock. Okay. Then we finally get going at 4 o'clock. And I started throwing chains, which drove me nuts because I drove it around a little bit when I was down there just to make sure everything ran out okay. He was doing great. Well, turns out my jack shaft, my secondary jack shaft was just tweaked a little bit. So, got that fixed. Finally got a race in. Then I bent up a steering rod component, so I need to beef that up. And it wouldn't steer worth the crap yesterday. Then the motor cutting out. But I at least brought enough tools where I could troubleshoot most of those things. But yeah, it was just frustrating. It's just the ebb and flow of the day was so chopped up. So I wanted to just kind of throw that in here. By the time my brother came or showed to my parents' house, it was, I had all grandeur plans of shooting this cinematic trailer to pump it up. But since this time was running out, I threw all that out the window. So I just fear I haven't even looked at the footage yet, but I'm just kind of afraid that I got poor footage. And, here I'd built up all of this talk and anticipation of this race. So, I guess I wanted to throw that out there. I would expect the race video to come out on Tuesday, but that'll do it for this episode. Until next time, peace out.